And now, the award-winning Simply Youth Ministry podcast with Doug Fields and friends.
Hey, what great music. Hey, everybody. Doug Fields here. We have the empty seat to my right. Matt McGill is mysteriously absent.
Yes, where
we
is
have no
he?
idea where he is. He has not. He's not photographed or photographed. Why did I say photographed? I was just watching Andy move the camera,
the webcam.
He's not photographed. He's not called. He's
Texting,
not,
Twitter, nothing. He hasn't posted a comment on anyone's blog in a while.
Yep.
Nothing. He's
I'm getting a text right now. Let's see if it's from him.
radio silent.
No, from Carrie Mackey. Tell Jana we're expecting our fourth boy in September.
Hey!
Holy boy.
Congratulations.
Okay, so Josh is here. So we're
So
not
I'm here.
just focusing on Matt not being here.
Yeah.
Josh with the tight T-shirt is
I
here.
am here. It's
He's
Jesus.
wearing his Treesus.
Yep, Jesus in the trees. Treesus is among us today.
Now, what's the story? Because you get free shirts all the time.
This
You were
is a free shirt from 180apparel.com.
We knew it was free. So
Yeah,
that was
and
the
this
question.
is one that I thought was one of his more interesting designs, and he gave me a 2XL, and so here it is. So
Is that it?
Send your
2XL?
free T-shirts to the show, and I will wear them. And
But
keep your
apparently they
company.
run a little small.
They run a little small, I like to say, right in the sleeves, especially.
That's good. Jana
you're
might be
mean.
done for the day.
Yeah.
There's one funny comment.
Early, that's all there is. All right. Still, what is this? What is this right here?
I walked in and Andy told me this is called the Snowball. This
Snowball.
is an omnidirectional mic,
Oh.
which I'm not exactly sure why, but
So people on the web, because we have these mics on our faces as well.
yeah.
On our faces.
On our faces, on our head, I don't know. And there's another mic in the room now.
Jana Sardi is here. Jana, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah?
Thank you.
You're pregnant?
Did
pregnant.
last time on the show we talked about sardidesign.com. Did
Yeah.
we get any unique visitors?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you get
Did you forget to talk to him about it?
Yeah, sorry.
There's probably such enormous business that came in, he hasn't been able to talk to you about it.
Exactly.
Probably. I mean, probably.
Life has been a little
Exactly.
chaotic in the Sardi household lately, so yeah.
Wow,
She went to a funeral this weekend, got new earrings. New earrings?
No,
At the funeral?
I don't know. I just noticed those.
Those
you
are
don't wear your
nice.
hair back that much.
not too often.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Oh. I think you should.
I don't know. It's
nice.
just a
pretty.
yeah.
Yeah. Got the snowballs hanging
No.
from your...
That matches the mic we put in there.
That's right.
Andy
we have a
is
little
bright
theme.
red right now.
We have a little theme. And Josh is kind of wearing the snowball outfit.
We're all wearing white shirts. This is nice.
That's right. Maybe that's why Matt wasn't here. He doesn't have any white
He,
shirts.
if he went home to change, he'll be here.
Hey, so-
Well, he
fashionably
actually
late.
wore a white shirt, but it had his own lunch on it.
What's the story with the American Idol?
Well, here's an interesting thing. That last night on American Idol, they sang "Shout to the Lord."
I'll tell you whether it's interesting.
Oh,
or not.
you will find it interesting.
All right.
So they sang "Shout to the Lord" as the closing song of the Big Idol Gives
Shout
Back
to
show.
the Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
1993, huge song. We played it too much, overexposed it. Now we don't sing it
Michael
too much
W.
anymore.
Smith.
Was it really 1993?
Darlene somebody or another
Darlene
wrote it.
Check from
Thank you. There you go.
New song.
Hillsong.
Yeah.
Hillsong.
New song.
So
Hillsong.
great song, amazing
Photograph
song.
song.
They sang it, brought it back. It was amazing. Here's the thing: the first line of the song starts off, "My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there's none like you." They said, "My Shepherd, my Savior, Lord, there's none like you." All the rest of the words were the same. King, we praise you. All the. But
Yeah.
they changed the first word, Jesus, to Shepherd, and the internet is going crazy about it.
They are a buzz.
There is buzzing in the
Now,
blog
I don't know
world.
enough about
Huh.
that, but could Hillsong do anything with that
I'm sure Hillsong gave him permission.
to change the words?
I'm confident the American
well,
Idol
can't you
would
change
not
like up to 10% of even something if it's copyrighted? Can't you change a certain percentage?
potentially, but I would imagine American Idol dots their I's and crosses their T's, and this is fully endorsed. Okay, fine. Happy to have the rest of the words on the show because the words are tremendous to that song. And Jesus is called Shepherd and King and Lord and all those other words, but so it might have been a little bit of a
But not
soft.
Treesus.
Never Jesus of the trees.
So this is the people that don't have
Yeah.
our video podcast.
Yes,
You're missing
There's
out on this
Jesus.
shit.
You should
By the
just-
way, you guys, I went on iTunes, which I haven't got on in about a year, to see our podcast. I think we ought to make it clear that it says SYM. We ought to say video on there. And SYM.
Should say very audio.
Now, isn't there an icon that says that?
Oh, the picture could be changed.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
a good
about.
idea.
That's what I'm
change
talking.
the picture.
That's a good
Yeah,
call.
so-
that is a good idea.
Yeah, because you and I think I got that idea from the Lord.
From Jesus. So American Idol took Jesus out, but my shirt has brought
So
Jesus
those of
back
you that
in.
don't have video, you have a hard time seeing. Josh has got
Picture.
a shirt that is.
Here, wait.
Don't touch me there.
Serious.
Oh, is that there? I was
That's
down.
not a tree. That is my nipple. See, it's Jesus'
Oh, I thought he had puffy eyes.
It's Jesus' face made out of like trees and stuff. It's trees.
Leaves.
Okay, so was the American Idol story interesting? They sang "Shout to the Lord" on American Idol. That's interesting.
I think
don't
that's
know.
interesting.
I didn't find it that interesting.
Oh.
Maybe because I read it on your blog more than dodgeball.com.
Yeah, it's a great blog to go to on my
Now, are
end.
you getting like a billion hits because
Yeah,
of the
what's the
American
late-
Idol
what's
stuff?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So anybody who like,
Thousands of extra hits on the blog. Yeah, it's been great. What's interesting is even from this one today, there was like 35 comments this morning since I posted that video.
and
the
they're
Shout
not
Lord
youth
one.
workers; they're American
Who
Idol
knows?
people.
Who knows
yeah.
what they are? Yeah. Some are youth
Crazies.
workers.
Yeah.
People that come
Wait,
back
what?
are probably youth
Hey,
workers.
speaking of crazies,
Oh, okay.
at our last weekend, I spoke for. We have 6 services,
This is a great story.
and there was a crazy lady that approached the stage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In the middle of your talk,
Yeah, in the middle.
this lady, everyone's sitting down.
And I'm sitting on a stool because I'm about to give the message. Jana, well, you weren't there, so I'm about to give this message or a story about hugging Kathy. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, it's the middle of your talk.
it's kind of a funny story about
Yeah.
how, she used to say when we were first married, you're not a very good hugger, and I had to train myself. My
Yep.
point was you got to learn, you got to train yourself to do these simple acts of love. And I'm sitting on, and I begin the story, and this woman walks up to the stage, and she just starts going off, shouting, "The Lord is in me, and I have a message, and the Lord, just, my name is Elizabeth," and blah, blah, and just goes off a little bit.
Yes.
You were actually at that
I
service,
was a
right?
few rows away thinking, did I not know there was a skit this weekend
Yeah, well,
or what?
Thanks for
What?
helping get her off there.
She walked right
Wait, she
by
walked
me.
right. I was gonna say, did she walk right by you?
She
and
walked
you
right
said-
by because I'm kind of on that side, and she
Yeah.
walks
Were
up.
you blogging?
I was blogging right in the middle of the service from my phone.
Yeah,
And
not like this.
She walked past a couple of security dudes and everything right to within a couple feet of you in the middle of this kind of story.
Yeah.
It's just-
So I said, well, Elizabeth, I have Spirit of God in me too, and why don't we talk about that later? And it was at that point the security guards realized this wasn't
Yes.
part of the message. It
Yes.
wasn't a skit, and they got up and bam, rushed her out. And she was
Oh.
screaming the whole way out on the way.
Yeah, yelling
waving,
more things. Yeah.
Oh.
waving, yelling.
Super awkward moment.
Yeah,
In the
and-
whole.
And I said, as
Yeah.
she walked out, I said, church, for those of you that are caring right now, I want you to pray for Elizabeth.
Oh.
And we just kind of had, and I paused. And I said, let's just admit that was weird.
That was my favorite part of it because you could have just motored right back into your message and right into the story.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, that was weird. And everyone just was like, thank you for saying that. And they laughed, and it was.
Well, and it was such a part of my message that people thought it was Kathy because I could tell. Because I said, did some of you think that was Kathy? And there was this awkward laugh. And then I said, wait, raise your hand if you thought that was.
That is
and
so
most
There was
of
a
the church.
ton of people that were like, we thought it was your wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, and when I
that
told
was so
Kathy that
fun.
afterwards, she goes, was she pretty?
Which, I think you could do better than Elizabeth. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, once they did that, once they raised their hand,
Yeah.
I said, well, let me get back to my story. My wife Elizabeth and I were at dinner.
Oh, yeah. It was
The
fun.
bad part, though, and this is where for youth workers listening, we do stuff like this, and
Mhm.
I was teaching about the woman caught in adultery, and I actually had this big rock up on stage, and I was holding the rock a little bit later, and I just kind of had this thought, I wish I would have had this when Elizabeth was here, but it was more than just a thought. I actually said it, and
Out
everybody
loud
laughed, but
to 3,500 people.
I'm sure I'm going to get letters.
You know what? Oh,
Matt McGill, this is Podcast Live. How are you?
Wait, go live, speaker.
put it on speaker.
Oh, wait a second. We got to hear this. Hang on a sec.
Right here.
Did you quit touching
Where is
me?
it?
All right.
It's one big
All right.
button,
Go ahead. You're on.
Hello. Have we started already?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell him what you just told me.
I said I knew I was late for something.
No way.
But you didn't know what?
Yeah.
Well, I've been in a meeting, and I was just focused on Ron Wilbur,
Oh.
and it went way longer than I thought.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Do you
Well,
not have
boy.
a phone that sits on your lap?
Thanks for caring for us.
Look at it. I was caring for him.
You know, the people on the live show, like who? Andy,
600.
Big Mike Lewis is ticked. There's a lot of people that are ticked.
A lady named Elizabeth is actually crying.
Jim Clark is pissed.
Jim Clark. There's a lot of
Should
people.
be pissed.
Yeah.
Should be.
The
Yeah.
show is so boring without you.
Yeah.
Hurry, come here.
I want the person who holds the podcast up with excellence. What time did you guys start? Did you just get started? You started noon.
We started about 10 minutes late. We've been on for about 10 minutes now.
So is it worth it for me to get in the car and drive over?
It's always worth it.
Of course.
Okay. I'll be there in a flash.
All right. Don't be late.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, bye. Okay, how great will it be when he gets here to finish the show?
I
I
agree.
think we've kind of done that once, though.
And lock the
Didn't
door.
we do that with you?
No.
Natalie.
No.
Was it Natalie?
I don't remember.
No, we did it with
Let's.
Miguel.
do it,
Oh,
man.
it was. Let's
All
do
right.
it as soon as he walks
Well,
in.
let's see. Let's see where we're at.
All right, let's get some content. So, great story. Is this your way of apologizing to that lady and to admit one of your faults of just calling this lady out?
No, I didn't call her out, but yeah, I admit that it was a dumb thing to
It was-
say. But it was.
And
It
it's
was.
warning to others to think before.
It's all of us.
I've got
Any-
this rock up here next time you approach this stage.
No.
Anybody who speaks gets that.
I thought it
Like
was.
you say dumb stuff and you wish you could take it back.
I thought it was brilliant. It was funny. You relieved the tension. It was awkward. You called it out. But yeah, I'm sure you did get a couple letters on it.
All right, this is from Brandon Schmidt, Ocean City Tabernacle
He's a good buddy of mine.
in Ocean City, New Jersey.
B. Smith.
He says, as far as resource gathering, because this refers to last week we were talking about base camp and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I read his deal, and I'm just going to read it out loud, but I don't really understand much of it. So, if,
Okay.
Josh, you want to make anything
Okay,
out of it?
I'll try.
And Jana, you can.
What?
Dangle your earrings.
Okay.
Dangle your earrings. As for
What's going
resource
on?
gathering, I like the idea of using backpack and base camp for collaborative resource
Oh,
gathering.
wow.
However, I think the caller was looking for a way to gather all of the resources, not just specific sermons. After reading Doug's book, Speaking with Teenagers, I have been saving resources on my computer. 2 tools I use a ton for resource gathering, HTM2 PDF and Google Desktop.
Wow.
HTM2 PDF is a website that converts a web page via HTML address into a PDF file
Cool.
that has fully searchable text.
That actually is cool.
That's great. So you
Yeah.
find something on the web, you highlight it, right-click, save it, and it's on your hard drive,
Yeah.
searchable for a sermon illustration or whatever.
All right, that makes much more
I like
sense.
that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of articles that you get and you're like, oh, I'd like to.
Exactly. You're
Right.
reading online.
So you can just right-click, save it as a PDF, and then put in your
Put it in
article
like a-
folder.
Yeah, and then he says it's searchable.
Then
by-
whenever you search, friendship, it would pop up.
Yeah.
It's cool. We're actually, this is fun. One of the things we took away from a couple shows ago was Base Camp, and we're actually launching it on Tuesday with HSM, High School Ministry at Saddleback.
That's
so
great.
We're
And
gonna
will
have
volunteers have access to that?
we're
too?
going to start with staff, get the staff on board with it, and then, we've built a volunteer section already. It's just not ready to be populated till the staff really embraces it.
And it's important to say because some of your staff is decentralized. Like you guys are always out in the office doing ministry, doing all that stuff.
Exactly, and working odd hours, and I mean it's an interesting team. So we've got a lot of different dynamics at play. So we're going to bring them all together for a central online work location.
You know what I
So-
don't like about
What's that?
your HSM team?
What's
Because I'm on the high school ministry.
There, some of them are watching right now,
That's all
so
right.
say hi.
Yeah, like,
It's-
Tell
like
me.
one.
Is it this about me, but you're being nice?
No,
or-
no.
okay.
It's it's like everything that you guys want to communicate becomes an appointment.
Oh.
It feels like
Interesting.
there's a
Wow.
lot of appointments. Like, hey, Danny needs to be picked up at the airport. It's an appointment. Still, I just think that's weird.
Right,
Because
right.
I mean, it's probably great
No,
for
it's
you
anything
guys.
that wants to go on. They want on the calendar though, on people's calendars.
Yeah. How do I get it where I don't want it on my calendar?
It doesn't go on your calendar. The only reason it does not go on your calendar, but with Outlook, if you don't decline it or accept it, it's tentative on your calendar until you do one of those things. That's why, because when you're
'Cause,
100
like, when I
emails
just delete
behind,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, you're
100
seeing it.
emails behind. That would be
And
a
then
great day.
then you have your meetings popping up that you're not really going to go to.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah,
actually
sorry.
do reminders. It's just as tentative on your calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, interesting.
So I guess it's not that big a deal.
Well, you don't have to
I
do high
just-
school emails if you don't want. I just like
No,
having you know,
I appreciate that you guys want to know everything about, Josh took a bowel movement. It's on there.
go to Chipotle, put it on your calendars, everybody.
Google Desktop searches all your files on your computer, even searchable PDFs. That way I can keep all my files disorganized and still find relevant resources and illustrations.
There you go.
That's like, what's that X1? Is that what it is?
Yeah, X1 search is a real similar tool. I think
really
Windows
good for email.
Windows Vista has one built in as well.
This is an email from Sean Caracta, St. Charles, Missouri. And Sean, I'm just going to give you a quick answer. He applied for a job at the church. This was our conversation, hiring within.
Yeah.
He applied for a job at the church. There was another guy his age that applied for the job at the church. That guy didn't get it. He's now left the church and only comes back for special occasions. And he's saying, should I go approach him to bring him on as a volunteer?
Interesting.
And my thought is, why don't you go approach him and just care for him first? Because he was probably hurt and wounded.
Yep. Minister
to him first with that motive. And if something happens where you guys click and he wants to come on as a volunteer, great. But he says, has your experience shown that this idea might backfire? Well, it always backfires when people are ticked and have ulterior motives when they join your team. So you want to make sure, and for all of us listening, anybody you get to join your volunteer team, you want to make sure as best as you can to define their motives. But a guy like this, I would say, go care for him first, just as a brother in Christ.
And maybe bring him on.
And maybe, Josh. This is from John Robinson, Open Water Church, Tampa, Florida.
Hi, John.
It's interesting. He starts off, he says, Doug, Matt, Joshua, and the pregnant one.
Oh, people.
Oh, it says
Jane.
And unfunny Andy, too.
Oh.
This guy pegs him right here.
He goes, first
that was a
off,
hard one, the pregnant one.
you're all great, make me laugh, which sometimes people wonder what I'm doing in my office. Just listening to previous episodes. By the way, you can work and listen to the podcast at the same time, so take that, England and Canada.
Yes.
That's a callback, huh?
I like that.
I don't know what they're complaining about. Are they sitting there with a pen and pad taking notes, listening intently like at some conference? You guys are more like background music.
Wait, we're like elevator back.
He says, you guys are like background music that makes me laugh, and when something important is said, I can pause and back up and listen to it again for emphasis.
Unbelievable.
Kind of called white noise, basically.
Yeah, we're basically
very white noise.
today. Jesus, white noise.
He says, his question is one that I know we've seen before. Whether we've answered it, I can't remember because I drink too much diet stuff and my memory's gone.
Messes with your head.
But he's a part-time guy, wants to go full-time, support his family. It says the church doesn't really support their ministry. When he talks about the future and graduating, they always say, "I hope so." Like, I hope we can afford you.
Oh.
I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit.
Because he's part-time.
Yeah, he says it's kind of like the old phrase, why pay for the cow when you're getting the milk for free?
That's right. You don't pay for the cow.
I've always said that as a Southern California person. He
He's from
says,
Florida.
more milk produced here than any other state, I might add.
Is that right?
Yes, we just took on Wisconsin. Whooped them. And
Why
I was
do you
born in
know that?
Wisconsin. Because
Have you ever read his blog?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Have?
Half of
Alright.
it is actually, I kind of like trivial crap.
Me too. I love it. Mindlesscrap.com, one of the best websites
Yeah,
ever.
Oh,
that
really?
is
Brilliant.
He says, I started with 7 kids.
We're just white noise.
7
that's all we
kids.
are.
Yeah, that's right. 7 kids in the ministry, and now I've got
An email.
A cell phone
Matt.
call.
Well, it's
A
Matt
text
again.
message.
What?
Want me to get you lunch? I'm at Wendy's.
No way.
You are kidding me. That's got to be a bit. He's got to be downstairs.
But I was thinking
No.
it's taken him a long time to get here.
No, because
Have
stop
him
by
get
and
you a
get some
Frosty.
food. And,
Get a
and-
Frosty.
And going to
Wendy's is way out of the
yeah,
way.
Wendy's is out,
Why
out of the
would
way.
he do that? Unless his meeting was offsite.
Yeah, why don't I say Frosties for all?
Frosties for
Yeah,
everybody.
they're saying Frosties. You need the Frosties.
Frosties for the people on
We have
the live
99
show.
viewers right now.
All right.
That's incredible.
So he says the youth group has gone from 7 to 50, and I love the kids, blah, blah, blah.
Fantastic.
And he says, but should I look for a second job? I want to support my family. I want to, that type of thing. And what I just had my own personal experience, when Kathy decided to stop working when we wanted to start a family, the church didn't come to me and say, we want to pay you more. I had to go to the
Right.
church.
Oh, this is a great time to do that.
Well, I had to go to the church, and I've learned over the years, now working in the church for 25 plus years, the church, there's not this body of people at the church that are thinking, how can we best support the people?
Right.
And unfortunately, it should be that way. I mean, we should have people who are going, let's just every year look at people's salaries and hope they're doing great and ask them how they're doing and can we make any adjustments, and maybe we need to not buy as much butcher paper or, don't buy new crayons for the kids and sports. I don't know.
And give them a conference budget or
make some
help them buy some
sacrifices,
books.
the whole bit.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, at Saddleback, we have a program called Celebrate Recovery that was run by a volunteer named John Baker many years ago. And there was a church down the street, Mariners Church, that wanted to hire John Baker. And all of a sudden, we went, wait, maybe we ought to hire John Baker.
Yeah.
And that's what brought him on staff, full time. But prior to that, he was a volunteer doing a great job, and it was kind of like, hey, why pay for milk when the cow's right here?
Yeah, so I think what you need to do is withhold milk from your church. That's really what we're saying.
That's right. So, John, I would say you have a serious conversation with your pastor, but
now is the time, you bet.
Yeah, but you know what? And we've said this a bunch. There's never a good time to leave a church, but you need to take care of your family, and if you want to stay there. But if you also feel called to stay there, and the church can't afford you, then get a second job if that's where you want to be. He says, I'm hoping to go to the conference in Jacksonville.
Right.
Hopefully my pastor can put me up
PDYM.
the dates of Jacksonville, May 16th and 17th. Right?
You're leaving for Dallas.
No,
next week is
Next
Dallas,
Thursday.
and then a month later is Jacksonville.
Next Friday,
Fun.
Dallas PDYM. If you're interested, PDYMcommunity.com.
Yes.
Very excited about it. Jan and I met.
But online
talked
registration turns off this Friday for
Why?
Dallas.
Wow.
For Dallas.
So it's walk-in only
walk-in
after
only,
this week.
yeah.
So sign up now, get the better rates, and then
Yeah.
we'll see you in Dallas if you didn't. That's cool. I wish I could go.
Oh, Matt just texted back and said, I was joking, was hoping for a get over here. He wants to be needed.
He does. Dude, the show's terrible without him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sean, is it the same guy?
Could be.
No.
Whoa. Open
Sean-
water, Florida?
No,
Yeah.
Sean Kalachik, St. Charles, Missouri.
Yeah, same guy.
Okay,
No, it's
McGill's
not.
here.
Yep, you've already. Yep.
McGill's
No.
here.
Seriously?
Yeah, hasn't he already sent an email from this guy today?
I wasn't listening.
Oh my goodness.
Missouri.
Keep going.
Hey,
It's
Andy,
a good
'cause-
question. Go for it.
He says he's got a kid who's disruptive. He wants to kick him out of the group. It's basically a discipline question. Anytime somebody brings up a discipline question, the price of purpose-driven youth ministry, the one chapter on discipline, is worth the whole book because it is a helpful, practical chapter. But didn't you kick somebody out of your small group last night?
Last night it was the worst thing ever.
Grab Matt's
Yeah.
mic. Tell us about it.
Come on, get on there. So you're in a small group.
We just started for the night. It was 8 p.m. We, kind of ready to go, dive in. We're doing Philippians week 2 for the curriculum. And we prayed. We're kind of, we're ready to start. And my expectation with these guys that I've been with for a while is, hey, with this hour, let's use it together. Let's use it wisely.
Yeah.
My favorite guy just was being a total tool and wouldn't respect me, wouldn't respect the other kids in the group. And I had to ask him to leave, and it sucked.
Ooh, how do you take it when you ask him to leave?
He wouldn't leave. He refused to leave, and then I said, we kind of, had to leave. You got to get out of here. You can come back, but you leave now and cool down. And
So
then
he left the room?
He left and walked home. Yeah, and I
wow.
called him I called him back,
Which
and we had
kid?
a 20-minute conversation. His name's Mark.
Dude,
We had a
that's
20-minute
hard.
conversation where I said, I'm sorry, I love you, I believe the world in you, affirming him totally. But the pride in him just wouldn't allow that wall to break down in that moment.
Yeah.
So we'll follow up later and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good for you. That's
It sucked.
so
Hey,
hard,
the
man.
show has arrived.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can now start recording.
Well,
Yeah, now-
Will,
gotta come over here.
will
You're in
everybody
charge of
now,
the
wherever you're watching or
live
listening, bow down before the God of the podcast,
The true American Idol.
Matthew McGill,
Shout to the McGill.
has entered the room. We were going to end it right when you got here, but we thought we've already.
Right as I was walking up the stairs, I was like, how stupid am I to think.
That we're not going to totally own you right here? No, we'll keep going.
Hey, Sean, what I would say is you pull the guy aside, you have a conversation about appropriate behavior. I would also say that if that doesn't work, you ask him to not come back for a week, and and know that, you know, as we've said in here before, part of discipleship is discipline, and you got to figure out how you're going to do that in a youth ministry. If you don't figure that out now, it will happen for the rest of your ministry. So, did I ever kick you out of youth group, Miguel?
Never.
Yeah.
I paid attention.
Yeah, you were actually.
You were the one that
good.
screwed around a little bit. If you weren't speaking, you were in the crowd screwing around. That's where I learned that it was okay
Andy,
for me to screw around.
I still am.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Things haven't changed.
Andy, how were the rest of the guys in your group after that interaction, though?
It was super cool. They all they got it.
Yeah,
And
I
they
bet.
started just going,
You know
okay,
what? And
time to turn it
sometimes
on.
That could last,
That's
too.
what you need to do every
Yeah.
once in a while. Like, I hate saying something in front of people. So,
Absolutely.
like, I'm speaking on the weekend. That is my last
Yeah.
resort. If I have to pause, I mean, I'll stare that table
You'll throw
down.
a stone at somebody before you.
A rock.
Is I have to stare that table down, or I'll look for a volunteer to get over to that table and quiet them down.
Right.
But every once in a while, I gotta do that.
Yeah, we had.
If you're not ready to discipline, you might as well get out of church work.
And there it is,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen. The podcast is started.
2 minutes in,
And
he's
now-
Far
already.
be it for me to say something.
I don't have
I haven't
opinions.
really-
I just have knowledge. Has entered the
I
building.
forgot about that line. I need to remind myself of that one.
Yeah. You know
what's
what,
going
Matt?
on? Did you find-
While your seat was empty, I pulled out an email from Jason Underwood.
Oh,
You
I know Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jason was the guy who was going to replace you, and
We
Yeah.
were talking. We were playing.
Phone
we were
tag?
playing
Halo.
Xbox
Yahtzee?
Halo just
World of
2
Warcraft?
nights ago.
he
Yahtzee.
says, Doug, I know you weren't all that thrilled with Matt's Sprinter disability comment.
White shirt.
Why do we got to bring that back? up
Sprinter
again?
disability?
But
Wow.
it was awesome. He says, is it too early to lobby for another mic carrying job at next year's NYMC podcast?
Jesus has a stain on him now.
Yeah, the white shirts are a little bit of a better
He
idea.
removed our stains.
Yes, he did.
All right, so what does he
But
want to do?
I say, Jason, I say it's yours to lose. I say
It's
it's
yours
Jason's
to lose.
I say it's Jason's every year until he stops coming to the conference. Don't you think?
Well, are we doing the podcast live
Did a
next
coach
week?
Yeah, I
did a
talked to a
coach
guy
say
from-
that to your son within the last 3 weeks?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering where that phrase came up from. Well,
Rod
seat almost
crew.
broke.
Oh,
Um,
The
goodness.
floor.
The floor broke.
Almost
All right,
died.
so Jason
So I think
Underwood.
Jason, as long as you sign up for the conference, you're the man. You're our podcast go-to person.
Okay.
All right.
As the mic runner.
I'm excited we get to go now.
He was great.
That's
He
cool.
did a good
Oh,
job.
are we going to go again?
That's what I was just asking.
That was an awesome vacation.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
wanna-
you'll have another baby.
Maybe we'll have another baby.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to let you know, you might want to listen to the first 20 minutes of the show.
Did you guys just ruin me?
No,
it was
but
very
Jana
calm.
actually had something funny to say.
Yeah.
Well, she had 2 funny comments last week.
Well,
It was funny.
she peaked early.
Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's great. I love this thing, by
eBay
the way.
idea.
How come
eBay
it's not pointed
idea.
towards
You
me?
guys need
Because
bobblehead
it's
dolls of yourself,
Oh,
like Dwight Schrute has in the office.
Andy.
There's a little difference
Bobblehead
between
dolls?
us and Dwight Schrute.
That's,
Bobblehead.
Wait,
There's gotta be a
seriously,
website where you can
years
get
and years
custom-
and years ago. Remember, we tried to
We
get
looked.
bobblehead dolls for
We looked into
BYM
custom
for you.
bobbleheads of like Doug Fields. But the problem is that they were very expensive.
They were.
The first one's like $75, and then
Yeah.
they obviously get much cheaper.
But then they were still
That's
like
expensive.
But
$6
it was
a
pretty
piece
bad.
after that.
Yeah.
oh, that's
So if
eBay
you-
material.
Well, that's true.
Totally.
All right, Andy.
Come on, if we're gonna do our
We gotta have simply to bankroll this
youth
thing.
worker fund.
Are more than dodgeball shirts come today?
Yeah.
What about better than
Are they
more than
the same?
dodgeball shirts?
Hey, speaking
You
of,
write on a marker with
speaking
my
of
shirts.
better than more than dodgeball,
Let's
Miguel,
speak about it.
I read your blogs yesterday.
Did
How-
it take you 6 hours?
Well, they're not short.
No,
They're not. I read 4 months of Josh in the amount of time that I read 1 week
2
of
weeks.
yours.
Short, pithy, mindless versus deep, intellectual.
Yours aren't mindless.
Yeah, pretty close.
No,
Yeah,
they're-
you're right.
No, he's got some good stuff. every once in a
About
while.
every seventh
about-
one, I try to put some stuff. Honestly, I try to put some
Do
content.
you
in
like
there.
go in your mind 7?
Yeah, I'm like
Mindless. Let me
funny, silly,
Settle back
interesting,
inside.
Funny,
Settle
silly,
back
have different
inside.
powerful,
categories.
life changing. Funny, silly.
Where do you get the deep stuff from?
Think. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't read
eBay.
that yet.
It's a link to something else.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one. We got Brazel on the Brazometer.
Phraseometer.
Anyway, also Jason said podcast with you and Kathy is a tremendous idea, but I need questions. Kathy asked me about it today. I've got 1 question sent in on
Oh.
marriage, so if you want the pod, we'll have at least 5 questions.
You should
to
just
start
repeat
with.
all the questions that I asked you when I was in high school.
How far is too far?
Well, I didn't ask that about marriage.
No.
Anyway, Jason, you're on. Hey, he also said bobblehead, which gave me thinking Dwight Schrute. Doesn't The Office start tonight?
Yes,
It's
it
back.
does.
Oh, my.
But-
Which is going to be last night for our pod listeners.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have a live
Not a
audience.
live audience.
About 100 people,
Oh.
right, Andy? Or
How many?
105.
Oh, it increased since McGill
Well,
got
look
here.
at the Xbox
Uh-huh.
cam up there. Nice.
We should have an Xbox in here.
Is
as well.
this?
You can't press the omnidirectional.
Oh, sorry.
People are upset all over in Xbox land.
This is beyond omnidirectional. This is like
It's called a
backwards
snowball.
in time.
We got a email from Jeff, First Presbyterian Church of Burlingame, and he is going to Honduras this week.
Cool.
And he
Don't have the internet there.
You know, he actually didn't ask a question, Andy. But what
What?
I thought, I said, let's send him our new book, Mission Trips from Start to Finish. Now that he's come back from one, and have him read it, and we'll send it to him
Give
free
feedback.
if he writes a review on it.
Cool.
All right.
That's a great
And he
idea.
said, P.S. It's probably too late, but Doug shouldn't let Josh go to the Idol
it is too late.
unless
I went.
all of his work is done and everything is covered
He's
for
on
HSN.
Twitter. That's the only way you can know that.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
No, he posted it on his thing
Did
too.
you post that
After
on
I
your
went. After I went.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't post before. Didn't feel right.
I made it a Twitter.
feel
I made
right.
it one of my
Right?
Twitter
Yeah,
posts.
you
I
know.
know.
Hey, I'm going.
Hey,
to
I got a
America.
Twitter question for you guys. If I reply to a Twitter, like just hit reply and
Ask
type
me.
it,
Ask me.
I think you're wrong.
Ask me
I-
now. Ask me if I found out this morning from.
Because that's how I Twitter. I don't remember that it's 4044 or whatever. I just
Just
see
reply
someone
to
else's-
anybody's
Yeah.
I
Twitter.
can't believe that you gave me and Andy's bet so much crap last week, and now you're twittering this week.
And
Oh,
they're
like,
pretty
You're a
fun.
Big dog now.
Oh, totally.
and they're
I'm
pretty
actually
fun,
hoping
too.
I can get more Twitter people than you. That's what
Oh,
Oh,
There's
this
no
is
way it's going to
awesome.
happen, but it doesn't keep me from hoping.
Yeah.
No.
You know how funny that would be?
It
You know
would
how
be
you know how
fantastic.
quickly I would just stand up in front of our entire church.
this weekend.
That doesn't count.
Sign up for
Dig
Twitter.
it.
I'm going to throw this rock
crap.
on you. What?
Crap.
But Matt will just add it to his regional feed of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so the
stay on with that.
Yeah.
7 people in the region.
Okay, so the Twitter deal, I
Mine are
got
funny, you said? I don't know what to Twitter.
Brandon Schmidt says
Yours are good Twitters, by the way.
Mine are good.
You're
Twitters. Are you-
good.
Wait,
Somehow.
are you complimenting me?
Yes. Don't I
do
do
you want
that a lot?
Do you want to think through that before you say that?
I compliment people when they deserve it. No, your Twitters are good.
Brandon Schmidt says, Doug, are you addicted to Twitter yet? You sure seem like it the way you've been posting. Okay, then we got another one. Matt Adams, he says, enjoyed the podcast. I'm pulling for the 1,000 Twitter.
Yes.
I have to confess, been somewhat of a hypocrite. I railed on Twitters during the entire podcast and then turned around and registered an account so I could follow Doug. Actually, I just wanted to play my part in reaching 1,000. I'm pulling for the friends to win the bet.
That's what
But
we like to
here's
hear.
here's the deal, because here I
You're one of the friends
Wait, it's
now.
now.
I
and
strategically thought this, that if I don't do a good job twittering at the end of the month when Andy loses the bet, he would say, well, because you didn't do it
Of
right.
course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
the only thing
That's
that's
fair.
motivating you to Twitter.
What's
you
that?
hate to lose.
Well, yes.
But which is making your Twitters good. Which
You don't
is all
want to
that matters.
compromise the.
No, if Andy said,
Integrity
but
of
this
the
guy
bet.
says, are you addicted to it? So I'm going, okay, you guys told me I had to do 4 or 5.
Oh,
So-
so you're going to let one pipsqueak voice out of the many?
No, I'm just saying, saying, hey, we've been doing it for a week now.
How many does he have?
Are we doing it right?
I'm
4
pulling up right
days.
now.
How
It's
many?
over 420.
That's incredible.
We're almost halfway there.
You know, you can just type in
419.
stats
You got
and your
419.
name, and it'll tell you on your phone.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah,
I do.
Now you know.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, see, I'm here
Reply.
following you. Reply.
Stats.
Stats. Matt McGill.
Well, I want to do him.
Well, yeah, stats Doug Fields. It'll.
Does caps matter?
You have
No.
58, man.
Only 50.
You're well on your way. That's 12%.
Dang it. I'll tell you how many you got.
Wait, 418? Did you say?
All right, this is from Josh.
I was thinking, how funny would it have been when I was on the phone if I told you guys to stop the podcast and wait for me?
Yeah.
Would that just have been
So funny.
asinine above all
Super funny.
asinine?
You would have
so
been.
funny, man.
Really
That'd have
funny.
been,
But-
that'd
Say
have
it
been
now
a
and
total
see how it
crack
works.
up. Because we
is
probably
horrible.
would have done it.
A live podcast. Just pause for a minute,
Yeah,
guys.
we
Yeah.
waited 10 minutes, and that violated everything in me to
Yeah.
wait a few
The
minutes.
integrity of this show.
It's
Josh,
just-
Josh from St. John's United Methodist.
Hi, Josh.
He's got a question about youth group website, and we've never had this question before, or not one that I can remember. We haven't done one
74
yet.
Don't say
shows,
we
yeah.
haven't done it yet. Your memory's pretty bad.
Which we already talked about before you got here. But
Really? How bad your memory is?
I admitted it.
Awesome. Aspartame?
And then he
Exactly
read
what I
2
said.
mails in a row from the same person.
I did not.
You want to bet on it?
No.
See, you know.
No,
Are
I
you
don't
worried
know.
you have memory cancer?
No, but but you do owe me a lunch from last week's bet.
Yeah, that's sorry. man.
Totally. I can't remember what it was, but I remember losing.
You can't remember?
I
Oh,
remember
can.
losing.
I got a good memory.
Yeah, what was it?
It was the guy who said he's written in a
Oh,
bunch of
Albert
times.
And it was
Alcorn's.
4 instead of
But
5.
we're assuming that he's got a good memory, but that's okay. That's
Well,
great.
technically, the one that he read, saying that he had 4, was his 5th.
Don't
So
even-
there's
No,
an
no,
irony
no,
at the
that's-
end.
I know.
Don't
You,
even
I remember
do
you
that.
bringing
There's a
that
sad
up.
irony.
That's called Griffin logic.
I'm going to blog
Website.
about that later.
Website. Josh wants to know what's the liability issues when you put photos of kids in your group on the site.
Is there a star on here for Superstar?
We haven't talked about that yet.
No, but can
Like
we,
you're a
can we-
superstar?
Can we wait here for
I'm
just a
sorry.
second?
Like you
You're
get a gold
super
star.
liable. You'll get sued.
Yeah.
Well,
Get a
what-
release
is that
form.
true? If you take the pictures in a, depending on how you take the pictures.
We've never even thought about that. We've got Snapshot product, which has got 1 million websites out there. And have we ever had anybody ask us that question?
No.
We asked the question. It's not an issue.
Children's Ministry's
Yeah, I don't
got
think-
signs up all around. I know our youth ministry doesn't because you guys are a bunch of slackers.
True
But
that.
they've got signs around that says your children might be videoed or photographed.
For promotional purposes.
Yeah.
Whatever. And what's funny is we just found Lexi, my daughter, on one of those posters, in big old posters in the kids'
Are
building.
you going to
That's
sue?
fun. Absolutely. Here's what I would do. Don't worry about permission. You could find a release form on the internet if you really feel like it. But if someone asks, take it down. Then you're probably fine.
Yeah, if someone asks, don't piss them off by keeping it up.
Chances are the reality of getting everyone to fill out a release form is almost nothing. So I would say, be careful what you post and be sensitive
But
when
you can
someone
also
says
add
no.
that release paragraph to, like, if you were doing an event release form,
Absolutely.
you add it to your event.
Add some language to your
Yeah.
small group form. Add some language to your,
You can just make a PowerPoint slide that says, if you're lame and you're going to complain, will you raise your hand so we can take a picture of you?
Yes.
Matt, I have a much better than more than dodgeball
you do?
question for you.
By the way, I'd like to go online. I got 2 things I need to say. One, I never answered
You'd like to go online, or you'd like to go on the
on record. I'd like to go on
Oh,
record.
okay. Boy, it's a good thing we didn't stop the show. For you.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. No, I got 2
doesn't?
things I'd really like to say.
Okay.
One, I ducked the question about transgender because we talked about it, but I never answered it, only because I lost it.
Oh.
So,
So
I mean, so I was admitting that I really didn't know much about that, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to.
You want to
Just-
admit that you tease me about losing stuff all the time?
Oh, totally.
What's interesting with
Yeah.
all the stuff with Oprah and everything's going on about transgender right now, it's actually a super timely post.
Topic.
If you did want to go after it, it would be very
Why-
Okay, well, if you want to search for it and send it to
Okay.
me.
When the 3 of us are together,
Yes.
maybe Andy too. I can't say it in front of Jana. We're offline. I went to the Angels game the other night with Jim McNeff, and he was telling me
Speaking
some.
of transgender,
He was telling me
Just
some
kidding, I love
undercover cop stuff. One of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to share that with
Oh,
you.
but
Just remind me.
the other thing I gotta say before you
Sorry,
do this
Jan.
question.
It's okay. I'm good.
You'd be grossed out. This guy.
So I've been on Xbox, and there's been 4 times that a youth pastor has said, "Hey, do you want to play?" But it's been all 4 times he said it. I've been literally turning off my Xbox.
Is it the same guy?
It's the same guy, and so 2 days ago he did it again, and I finished the game I was in, and I went to click over to say yes, and he removed me from his friends list, which kind of hurt me a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Deep in my heart, but I just didn't want him to think that I was denying him.
You
on
care about
purpose.
somebody's feelings?
So,
Yes.
are you
Wow.
saying that because you think he's listening, or
Well, he's the only way he would have my
Yeah.
game tag is from listening.
You don't remember his
I
game
don't
tag?
remember his thing, but I know it's not on my list anymore.
But
I mean, it's
you
one of those.
care about somebody's feelings. This
That's
could
why
be
I
a
was late to
first.
this meeting.
How did this come up with the transgender? don't
I had
quite-
2
Because he had
issues.
2
I had
things
2
he wanted
things
to-
on my
distinct,
chest
yeah,
I had to
okay.
get off.
Okay,
So,
well,
all right.
Did you give me a? Oh, that was a be quiet shove under the butt. Okay.
yep.
No, it wasn't. It was
Did
the.
you put something there?
It was the email that you're supposed to answer. But
Okay.
don't look at
But
it
you
now.
can be.
Don't
quiet.
look at it. Okay. I won't. Sorry. Are we ready to go on with the show?
Here we go. Look, guys, cameras, show. Here we go.
I mean, I'm ready, so let's go forward.
This won't be one that gets highly reviewed.
Yeah,
but-
hopefully the award-winning. They won't look at the show.
Oh, this is my favorite show in 3 weeks.
Oh,
It is.
goodness.
It is because it started without you.
That was easy.
Yeah, we were doing
That
fine.
Was, that was a snowball's pitch to you. You were doing fine
From
without
Jason Villaquente, Fort Collins, Colorado. Podcast people, thanks for your weekly dose of humor and youth ministry. It fills the soul and mind. I'm looking to hire a part-time person to
You
work
tell
with
me the
our
difference.
youth ministry team. What are the few websites that you would recommend to post this opening? Also, I'm a little weary posting this job to the entire world, but I want to hire the best possible person. If there was an obvious person that I could hire that was already part of the ministry, I would.
Okay, so he's ruled out hiring within.
Yeah,
He's weary or leery?
I know. I was wondering that too.
weary. Maybe he meant
He
leery.
meant-
I'm going to say
Larry.
spell check. Didn't get that one.
Yeah. I'm a little leery of posting it on the web.
Well, Youth Specialties has one.
Yeah, their job bank.
Job Bank. What
That's
else,
they call
Josh?
it now, Job
That's
Bank.
that's really targeted at like
Total youth
Youth ministry.
worker. Yeah. Well, I would say,
church staffing.
yeah, churchstaffing.com is probably a good one, too. You can go to TonyMorganLive.com. He's got a new job bank that he puts up as well. It's a big blog.
Isn't he your blog best friend?
Yeah,
He's a good friend. Yeah.
Good friend. Have you ever met him?
No, but he's...
but that's not how friends work anymore.
Yeah.
you know?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brazel's only friends are on his Twitter.
And yeah, those are probably the biggies. I mean, youthpastor.com has one as well.
Does
With-
youthministry.com have one?
Not a job bank, no.
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 Yeah.
And
What about pastortoyouth.net? I don't know.
pastortouth.com? I don't know.
do they?
All right.
I would
Is he?
say, but definitely email your friends and network is a great way to find somebody too. People that have interns,
Did you just say network was a great way to...
use your network.
Okay.
Because if you have friends who have an intern or who have a star that just graduated from college, and you're offering a part-time assistant position too, so you do need to be realistic in what you're going to
Well,
get.
that guy was in Loveland, Colorado, too.
Fort
Fort
Collins,
Collins.
yeah.
Fort Collins, which is right by Loveland. Because
Yep.
when I drove to Loveland,
40
I
minutes,
had to
yeah.
go via Fort
So
Collins.
there's a whole bunch of...
So you go to
Group
group,
people.
go to group and find out if they have.
Here's one thing you shouldn't do. Let's say you want to hire person X. Don't contact person X and say, hey, do you know anybody who would maybe be interested in this job? Just ask them straight out. That's my advice.
Do you think a lot of people do that?
Have people
I
done that
know
to you
a lot
lot?
of people do that. No,
That's
no
right.
one wants to hire me. Are you kidding me? Who wants to hire me?
He's late to meetings.
No,
I
people
don't
do
know.
that all the time. Are you saying you've never come across this?
No, I think that's funny.
Oh, I do too, because people don't like to tell the truth.
All right.
I'm trying to think of a lie right now.
That's a lie itself. No, just kidding.
Here we go.
Superstar.
Okay, what now? What's bothering you, Andy?
No,
just
nothing's bothering me. I just thought
Brand new
star,
book.
Star Superstar.
just came out yesterday.
You're a
Not even out
superstar.
Not even out.
You cannot buy this book.
Congratulations, gifted. Now, how did you
You can buy
take
it
Jim
tomorrow.
Burns' name off of here?
What?
What? Didn't that
It's a
wasn't that
different
the
book.
first book you wrote with you and Jim Burns?
No.
Yeah, but
Spiritual
that book's out of print.
Thank you, Brace.
But it is
Oh, wow.
dedicated to Jim Burns.
Oh,
Aww.
that's
That's
gonna make
awesome.
me cry. Not really.
Cry that it wasn't dedicated to you.
Oh,
Wait, is this one of
gosh,
those
that-
books that you're going to take credit for writing, but you...
Didn't you write this, man?
Yeah.
Nope.
Did you even read it?
Nope.
Did you?
No. Did you use any of HSM stuff for that?
No.
Oh, well,
I'm
I
really
guess I
excited
really
about that
didn't
book.
write
We're doing a
anything for it.
3-week series on it in HSM in a couple weeks.
Just came out. Andy, when's it going to be on the website?
Do you guys still use the personality test? That's kind of a long
Yeah.
one. I like that.
Me too.
Me and Bob
Chris-
Baker worked a lot on that.
Anything that's good, Matt wrote.
No, Bob Baker worked a lot on that. Is what I said.
Chris
Well,
Moss.
you said me and Bob Baker.
Yes, but you guys, we got to get all this way before the podcast starts. And I am so hungry. It took
You just
everything
keep
I
looking
had.
at
did
the
you miss
sandwiches
those
out the
sandwiches?
Everything I
window.
had not to bring a sandwich.
It's roast
again.
beef and bacon today. Think about how awesome that would be.
What are the great? This is from Chris Moss. What are
I
the
thought
great
they were
questions to ask a student who is leaving your youth ministry for another youth ministry?
Yee.
It's a hard thing to do and kind of awkward, but I think asking may help us be better at what we do.
Well, you could probably ask him, do you know that my insecurity is really shattered by you leaving? Just kidding.
Well,
why are you leaving?
Wait.
Would be a question.
Why
But
are
I-
you hurting
but
my...
I
Why don't
think
you kick a
asking-
puppy?
I think asking may help us be better at what we do. I would be careful about that, Chris, because I'm not exactly sure. Most people, Matt's comment is nobody tells the truth.
I know, that was exaggeration.
No, when people leave, they typically don't tell the truth.
Well, and if you're the one asking them.
Don't you think you know the answer already?
No.
Not always.
I know.
I think in a lot
Well,
of
like when
cases
Matt
you
was in
do.
youth group, I'll think about the. Let's don't say the name.
Okay, it'll be hard enough for me.
Okay,
I
I'm
can't.
not.
No, go
gonna-
ahead.
No,
I won't
no,
say
no.
the name.
There's a kid that left the youth group because he said it wasn't deep enough. Okay,
Exactly.
that was his phrase. It wasn't deep enough.
Oh, I remember
Then
that.
2 weeks later, I hear about the guy being drunk at a party. I'm going, okay, so it wasn't deep enough, but you're out getting sloshed, and that was the first, or one of the first times, or maybe the strongest feeling that I had that when people leave the youth ministry, they're not always leaving it for.
Exactly.
I'm not sure what you can learn about it all the time, unless you can get after the truth. Because maybe there's a personality conflict, maybe he's dating somebody. There's a couple kids in our youth group right now that are going over to Mission Hills, which is a great, not Danny Bowers, the other one,
The other Mission Hills,
Jason
yeah.
Carson,
Yep.
going over there and have made comments to their parents. These are kids that have grown up Saddleback their entire life, made comments to their parents, we just like it better over there. Well, I tell you exactly what they like better over there.
The
Jesse
girls.
and Hannah is
There you
exactly
go.
what they like
Dude,
better
I
over
met Hannah Montana on TV for the first time last night.
You met her on
Idol
TV.
Gives Back? We should talk about that. We haven't
Miley
Misha was watching and I
Cyrus?
was like, who was that? And Misha had to explain the
So,
whole
right.
thing.
So the honesty there is, it's not
Yeah, Matt was
depth
there.
or personality or even a major conflict. It's just better looking girls.
It's kind of like what you do with all criticism. When you get criticism, you gotta kind of take it in and go, okay, is there anything in here that could be true? And filter it through friends or whoever, and let's find if there's some truth in there. Then let's swallow it. If it's not, we chew on it and spit it out.
I think you're better. Did I interrupt?
No.
What difference would that make?
try not to when you're serious.
Since
Should
when?
have brought Frosties, man.
Since when?
Well, I think you're better served by asking your visitors what they noticed, what they liked, what they felt, and asking your regulars, why don't you bring your friends?
Okay,
And-
but if you're
and anonymously,
If you're in high school ministry and David Hughes, the guy that you've invested a bunch of time in, all of a sudden decides to go to another youth group,
if it's,
you don't want to know why?
if it's somebody I've connected with and invested in, I guarantee I'd get some answer out of him. Assuming there's no conflict, I would totally ask him.
Yeah.
I would probably know just
See,
by
that's
being
what
friends
I
with
think.
somebody.
That's what I think you probably know.
If it's somebody you're friends with, or you're in a small group, or you're discipling, yeah, I would totally want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for leaning in too on that
Yes.
one.
that was very
Because you know what,
special moment.
we are an award-winning podcast. Still have that.
According to Clyde Magazine.
I can't believe you haven't lost that yet.
Did we win any Webbies this year or anything?
Webbies.
Any
Webbies.
Apple
What's a
Podcast
Webby?
Awards?
What about an ESPY?
You should win an ESPY for Best Sports Podcast ever.
All right, you're going to win the award for best T-shirts, though.
Treats us.
He's won that one a few times.
Yep.
A few
Award
times.
on stage
It,
one
it
time.
used to have cotton at one point.
I don't
All
get
right.
that. Does it still not have cotton?
That's right. Ross Perot used to be a presidential candidate.
Oh,
That's way insider. That was an
Yeah.
Abigail line right there.
thank you.
Have we talked about that, though, here? At one point, Matt's so out of current events. Chris, have you ever heard this? Matt's so out of current events that he had no idea who Ross Perot was when he was running for president. That was several years
Let's
ago.
do a little game right now about Matt and current events. Just throw out some current events and see if you know about
Oh
it.
gosh.
Okay, throw one out and I'll tell you whether or not.
Iraq.
I think that people are fighting.
All right, next question.
Tibet?
Tibet. There's
The
monks
Olympic
there.
torch.
Oh, something happened in France on that one?
Not bad.
I don't know.
Where are the Olympics going to be held this year?
Seoul?
Nope. Who is Barack
just
Obama?
He had a pastor that was crazy a couple of weeks ago, but I still don't really know what he totally said.
That was because I used that illustration
Yeah,
myself.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
You're not supposed to be touching the mic.
And I think we talked about that in here before.
Yeah.
What?
Here's a
You
question
were
from
not-
here's a
Not
question
bad,
from
yeah.
Mark Eads. Mark Eads says, "Can you
My
1 out
share?"
of 5.
This is my buddy from World of Warcraft.
Is it?
Yep.
All right. Can you share some good ways to help kids and their parents to transition from junior high to senior high?
If he suddenly left World of Warcraft, would you want to know why?
Yeah.
I think you just would know.
This is a great question. We're actually starting to tackle that as we head into this season of the year. We're talking about a big freshman orientation meeting and trying to do things on DVD, since it's so hard to gather parents together, but have an orientation DVD with
Why is
highlights.
it so hard to gather them together?
I don't know. Just seems like it is. Seems like it's tough.
Have you had to try yet, or are you just hearing that?
Well, just the team is saying, "Oh, there's never worked." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
So
don't listen to them.
Yeah, no, I just think that's fine because we were talking about that. We talked about this at our core meeting or whatever that was a while back. But we got I think we got good numbers for parents that are interested. If you're not interested, they don't come,
Right.
But that we can't make everybody be interested. So sending them home with a DVD might not help.
The problem is the people who show up are the ones that need it the least.
Which is why a DVD can be
Thanks.
sent to all of them who need it.
I know.
the
Why not
most.
put it on the web though? DVD.
We're a little bit. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Not see that. Make everything glorious. Here.
How'd you like me calling back one of your lines from your parent meetings? Did you like that? Did you appreciate that?
But the point is, we're doing
He
a
was
freshman
busy doing
frenzy
something else.
event.
No, I heard it.
We're doing a freshman frenzy event where we're gathering all the new ninth graders and having a great time with the small group leaders.
Does your
and all
current
that
staff
Showing
even
up
know any
at
of the
8
parents in their ministry?
jazz. No, we're working on it.
You show up at junior high services though.
And we'll show up at junior high services and try to transition that as well.
Remember when
We're going to meet
Ellie-
with junior high volunteers who are in the small groups and ask them to move up. We're going to actually try to help junior high volunteers move up in and be the freshman small group leaders as well.
Oh,
So I think that's good.
that
And
is
then
good.
the DVD is kind of the new DVD/webcast. Probably not, but
You just don't want it out there for everybody to see?
no, I would love it. I think it'd be great.
Have you heard of Crackle.com? You can do high-res video.
Really?
Mhm.
And can you embed it in blogs and stuff?
Yep.
Really? What would you do, Doug?
What's going on?
Well, nothing. I was just letting you guys go for a little bit.
Okay, there's my three. That's how we're going to go after it this year.
Well, I was actually thinking of that time when Lynn Ellis, who used to work at Saddleback, who wrote Mission Trips from Start to Finish, very sharp lady. When her and I were working together in high school, before Kurt Johnson was there. We went into the 8th grade or the junior high deal so we could have some exposure with the junior hires. And Greg Lafferty was our junior high pastor at the time.
Oh, this is awesome.
And he had me lay on a table, and I had to take my shirt off, and they built a banana
You haven't
split
heard this?
on my chest.
This is at camp, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
awesome.
at camp. It was at church. And he built a banana split on my chest.
Because it was like, what would you do for $1 or something? The game. What would you
Yeah,
do for a
yeah.
buck or
What
something?
I'd
would
buy
you do
that
for a
for
buck
$1.
or something like that? And then Lynn Ellis had to eat the banana split off my chest. And
How many years ago was that?
It was a long time
Feels
ago.
like a long time ago.
But it was one of those things in the moment where you're going, you
Sure.
just going, okay, I went there with a whole motive to go to his junior high class to get to know them.
to help transition.
And next
yeah.
thing I know, I'm laying on a table with my shirt off, and
You're like, I'm the cool youth pastor, dude. I could do stuff
yeah,
like that.
hey, go ahead and put ice cream on my chest. Oh,
Was he high too? Is that why you guys all-
That's the way he used to talk when he was young.
I won angel tickets from you in 8th grade.
did you?
Ooh,
When
wait,
you were in
what?
8th grade, I went into the junior high room, and you won angel
Yeah,
tickets.
you took me to an angel game.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh. And that was the start of a beautiful
the first
relationship.
moment.
Here we are 10 years and 2 kids later.
It's funny. I don't even remember that. I remember meeting you when
at JH Ranch.
when I picked you up at the airport.
Yeah, we went to an angel game first.
I don't remember. Just you and me?
I think you had 4 seats.
Huh.
So probably 2 other people.
He probably had 2 other people in between.
I would
you
really
and
like
him.
to do that. That's
Well,
awesome.
here's the big picture. Transitions are just scary. 8th graders going into high school. It's there's some seniors in high school who look, old and scary and hairy and
Well, and scary for parents too. Change of school.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's
You're in
just
the big
scary.
leagues.
So recognizing that you're gonna you want to admit that up front. We used to at our orientation when I used to do it. It was I remember I had like 4 F words or
Fear,
something like that.
Fun.
High school was
Family.
about fear, fun. No, it wasn't family. It was faith, friendships,
Faith and friendships.
Yeah.
That's it.
farming. Something about
Oh,
you
yeah.
can milk cows.
Farming.
California.
If you can milk the cow.
But here's a big deal. The biggest deal in this whole thing is I think you pull your older kids aside and you say, "Hey, let's take a walk back memory lane. Let's remember what you were like when you were in 8th grade coming into the high school ministry. What were some of those feelings?" Right. And then you coach them. You know, in 2 weeks, the 8th graders can be coming in our ministry, and this would be a great time for you to really show them love and care for them and help them in this transition.
Remember we used to read that book, Everybody Poops?
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
that was just featured in a movie too. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
That was a
That was
freshman.
freshman?
That's right, Jan. I forgot about that. I
Yeah.
did
Oh,
that.
the
That was-
PowerPoint of that book.
Dan in Real Life. The
Yeah.
book was just in that movie.
Well, you probably don't even know about this, John.
I actually saw it a couple times. Just happened to be there and
Oh, when you
saw
were
it.
visiting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, I
Well,
would-
you want to explain it though for
well, we'd take this book, Everybody Poops, and we would read it on Freshman Sunday. And when they were coming in, and one time we did it with a translator.
So
Remember Diana Prado?
Yes.
She read it in Spanish, and we just did it in different ways. It just became a tradition
Sign
of our youth
language,
ministry. Got to bring it back.
sign language, dude. That's so funny.
Remember Josh?
But the idea was, look, everybody
so
poops. If you're a 13-year-old freshman or you're an 18-year-old senior,
Everybody but the pastor in this room poops. Just
It
kidding.
would have been so funny if we would have stopped the show and waited for you.
You should have.
This is strong. So on that promotion Sunday, everybody poops.
All right.
That's good wisdom
hey,
right there.
Questions at podcast@simpleyouthministry.com, and we'll pray that Matt's late next week too, so we get to some.
Or you could call
Um,
us. Nobody's been calling us lately.
Yeah, we haven't had-
949-243-0571.
949-243. You got to say them slower, Josh. 243.
0571.
You know what? We
Wait a minute,
can't.
this is the one I've already done.
We can't be award winning. We can't be award winning
Without you.
phone calls. And
And-
by the way, Matt, just want to clear something up. Dusty Smith from Marshall, Texas.
Yeah.
We are.
He
Marcia.
said, you just read my email in the podcast, and Matt asked if Marshall, Texas was where the movie We Are Marshall was based. The answer is no.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
This
when
is
you
the one
go,
I did
when you
last
go
week.
for knowledge
Yes.
and not opinions,
Well, that was a question.
no, you were confident that it was.
So
However,
maybe-
the Denzel Washington movie, The Great
he said,
Debaters.
when Matt asked, that means I had a question.
No, you didn't ask. You just said, We Are Marshall.
Matt
so-
declared.
Yeah.
Matt
Maybe you asked
spoke.
a question.
This is the question I answered last week.
Are you
by the way.
positive?
I'm super positive.
No. Okay, well, we'll have a question up on muchbetterthanmorethandodgeball.com.
There you go. We'll find one, have it up there.
Right.
I think that's it. I'll
See
explain
you all
why.
next
I think it's a
Thursday?
little
Why
bit
later.
different.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not
I
a
almost
little bit
died.
different. Hey,
next
Dallas next weekend. Come join us, PDYM.
Dallas.
Hit him.
Megan Hutchinson on Friday night. I'll be there all day Saturday.
Oh, these
Andy,
are my
anything
notes.
else?
We need iTunes reviews. If we ever want to creep up the list in iTunes.
Oh,
We
yes.
got like 100 reviews.
We need fresh reviews. They're
Fresh
only a year ago
reviews at iTunes.
for our pod,
So-
for both shows.
Okay.
Great.
Because Andy wants to sneak up. Hey, and Twitter.
Twitter.
3 more weeks of Twitter.
Twitter.com/Doug Fields.
Don't sign up.
Bye, everybody.